Dali Con Pique.
I should probably use my sidekick name. JQ.
My sidekick name.
JQ.
Like we're superheroes.
What's the, what do they call it? Your, fiance has one?
Oh, your alter ego?
Yeah, your alter ego.
Oh my god, my
JQ.
my alter ego name used to be Lola. Like in the streets of Ybor. When I'm Lola tonight. I don't know who the fuck I thought I was. But
I never had a name for myself. That's crazy.
No?
Not like that, no.
Maybe you should make one. JQ. But it's fun. Especially when you go out and you're like, you tell somebody a name that's not your name and you just like get into that persona.
Can I just tell you that right now the first name that came to my mind was Esmeralda.
Stop, bro. I love that name.
Esmeralda.
I was telling Johnny, like, if we have a kid, I want the girl's name to be Esmeralda. That's so funny that you said that.
Character?
Hunchback.
You don't remember that Hunchback?
My mom bought me an Esmeralda Halloween costume when I was younger, and she said she spent so much money on it. I was Esmeralda for like 4 Halloweens. And so I really felt like I was Esmeralda. And like you can see me in pictures growing up and like the outfit's getting smaller and smaller on me. And I'm still just as proud.
You're flooding, Dali. It's time to get a new outfit.
No, I definitely think it should be Esmeralda. I love that name.
We should all have an alter ego name.
Lola. No, I just told my secret to all of Ybor that I used to tell them my name's Lola. I feel like I need to change that.
That was her. I remember her. Lola, I found her.
Oh, no.
Okay, so let's get back into what the topic of the day is before we forget what we're talking about.
Yes. Yeah, so our task for this week, we want to try to find a way to make us realize when our opinions are turning more into judgments. So we're going to try, that's our task.
That's our task for the day.
For the week.
For the week. For the day, just for the day.
Just for one day, don't be judgmental. It should be for the rest of our lives. The task for the rest of our lives, stop being so damn judgmental. But I feel like it's so easy to be judgmental because we live in a time where everything is being judged. Literally everything. Down to like people are Snapchatting and Instagramming the food that they eat.
Right.
So it's so easy to judge people and to
like stuff and to not like it. To give it a thumbs down, give it a thumbs up.
Right.
Everybody has their little opinions and
right. And it's always good to be like, you know, they say everyone's entitled to their own opinion. And it's good to have opinions. It's good to have your own mindset about things and your own views on things. But when do you cross that line? When does it just become you have your opinions and then you feel a certain way about something and you shut up about it? And versus you're judging somebody and you're putting them down to make yourself feel better.
Or where does it cross the line to where you have your own opinion about something and then you're just opinionated to the point where you're correct and no one else is right and whatever you have to say is what goes in your own mind.
Yeah.
And you don't have an open mind as to what could be included in that, what facts, if you don't know certain, situations and the way they are, sometimes your opinion of stuff changes if you know what's going on in a certain situation, So when it comes to that, some people are just opinion. They're so set in their ways and what they think about things is never going to change.
Yeah.
But we want to figure out where the line crosses to having your own opinion and your own voice, to have your own opinion. What is it?
Yeah.
What am I saying right?
I think your own voice, have your own opinion.
Yes, compared to being opinionated and just thinking you're always right and being judgmental.
And then you start just bringing other people down. I feel like that's the main thing. I love having my own opinion. Like, yes. I can say I'm strongly opinionated, but I will also never judge somebody. I would always try to put myself in the other person's shoes.
Have an open
and try
mind.
To see it from their viewpoint and try to get their opinions about things too.
Yes.
Because then in the process, my opinion about things might change because I hear someone else's opinions.
Or your opinion might change because people are bringing you different facts.
Right.
In a certain subject, So, right. I think everyone has their own opinion, about a lot of things, about everything. But I also feel that people have their own judgments. Everybody is judgmental. I don't care what anyone says. This is something I struggle with all the time because I can sit there and not say anything, and I can be the nicest person and this and this and that, but you don't know what's going on inside of my head. You don't know what type of crazy things I'm thinking, you know? So, not that I'm a crazy person, but...
But even it could be so easy to... Like, when I see that I'm being very judgmental, I start to feel very guilty. I start to feel really bad. I'm like, dang, who am I to say that what that person's doing isn't the right way to do it?
Yeah.
And
that was a question for, like, the stop being childish. Like, who are you to judge, and who are you to have opinions in other people's lives?
Right.
Or be opinionated in other people's positions, you know, or their situations and stuff. So...
And maybe, like, it could be, too, it can stem down to, like, a way you were conditioned to think.
Yes.
Because growing up, you can, even with media and everything, growing up, when people don't look a certain way or acting a certain way that society is telling you they should act, that judgment automatically comes about. And your character will start to show, I feel like your character will show whether you believe that judgment or whether you pull back and you're like, wait a minute. It's not my position.
And it ties into a lot of other things too, because it ties into people being racist. It ties into people being biased.
Yeah.
Like, and everyone, I don't want to say everyone's racist, but everyone is biased. Everyone is biased in their own way. You can say you're not. You can say you're not racist, but you have your certain things with certain races, you know? So, like, for example, me growing up, some of my family members, and it's crazy because being Puerto Rican, you're part African, right? But they looked at other Latinos a certain way, and they looked at black people a certain way. And it's like, this is in our blood, so why would we sit here and talk about the things that we are? You know what I'm saying? It's just insane. Like, I remember one of the biggest things that my family would tell me was like, if you see a group of like black kids or something, that might be trouble. If you see a big group of kids or
Ain't
a big group of
shit?
Yeah, like
Ain't
they're up to some
shit?
bullshit. And I used to be like, well, what if they're just hanging out with their friends, you know? Like, what if they're not even fighting? They're just all walking home together, right? So it's like, and then God forbid, you know, maybe they're walking home in a group instead of, you know, alone. But if you see them alone, it's a judgment. If you see them together, it's a judgment. It just, that's a little stuff.
Nobody putting some damn judgment on these white kids. I am. That's me. I just put judgment on the white kids.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Oh God. But it's true. And even on the island, bro, like on the island, they're so judgy against their own people. Like, oh, they're too dark. Oh, you know But
that's every race, man, and it's insane. The light and the darkness, like, they're both beautiful. You see, me and Dali, like, we're like this not a statement of that, but pretty much like, because she's darker than me and I'm super white. So it's like, and we're the same race.
Yeah.
We're the same age. It just goes to show you, you know, in different cultures, it's just different. But that was something in our culture too. If you were dark, you know, you're looked at differently than being light, just like Dominicans too.
And that's why it's so easy to grow up and have such harsh judgments on people.
Even within the black community too, because they have the whole little light skins act this way and dark skin, the darker the berry, the sweeter the juice type thing, you know? So
the darker the berry. I love that saying.
So, like, I don't know. Everyone has their own little things within their races, and it's crazy. It's crazy to think that.
But it's so much easier for somebody to show a judgment, to give a judgment on someone, than to sit back and show compassion. And
or to even look at yourself. To look at yourself and not judge yourself, but to think more positively. Like, you can't go from, you know, judging other people and then stop doing that, but then judging yourself, because that's pretty much the same shit.
And for some people, it's like difficult to, it's like difficult to understand.
Yeah, understanding is very important because it requires compassion and willingness to believe good things and good hearts.
Yeah.
But sometimes we choose bad ways of doing it, I guess.
And it's easy for us to stay separated instead of coming together and having that understanding with people. When we're together, we're stronger. When we're separated, I think that's honestly...
You've said that before too.
Yeah. My Conspiracy theories.
Her little conspiracy
Dali's conspiracy theories.
You need to come up with one.
Yeah, no, I really do. It's so much easier to keep us separated than to when we're together, when we lift each other up, and when I tell you positive things instead of negative things, and when I give off that positive energy, that's more powerful than all those judgments and all the
critiques, and everyone's opinions of your life and things like that.
Yeah, and that's a powerful thing, and I feel like people don't want that sometimes.
People are stuck in that sometimes. It's hard to get out of it.
Or maybe people's like self-esteem is just so low sometimes that they don't know how to give that compassion. Or they're just so wrapped up in their own, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like their own insecurities and their own self-doubt that they don't know how to be happy for someone else that's doing, I don't want to say better, but doing their own thing.
And when you do that all the time, it's like a daily thing. So like, if you're doing that all the time and it just becomes a part of you, and it's like, do you really want that to be a part of who you are? Always judging someone, always talking about someone, always having your opinion in their life or how they look or what they're doing with their life or what, anything. Mm-hmm. I just think it's stupid to do that instead of concentrating yourself.
Right. All that energy you're putting out, you could be putting into yourself. And once you put all that energy into yourself, you start to realize you don't have time to project any negative energy toward anybody because you're trying to use all that energy to be your best self.
To create positivity for others just like yourself instead of being always negative.
Right, but for some reason it's just really hard sometimes.
Well, I found a quote that said every time you judge someone, you reveal an unhealed part of yourself. Mm-hmm. And I think that's 100% true. If you got people who are always willing to talk about people, sometimes like we used to always do that. I used to do that with my cousins sometimes. Like, oh, look at that girl, look at that guy, look what they're wearing, da da da. Why do I care? Mm-hmm. I can go on and on about other people and point at other people about how they look, doing this and this and that. Like, Yeah, and I always,
like when I go to bed, I try to think about, like, what did I do with my day? How did I spend my time? Because time is very precious. And you only get a certain amount of time here on earth. So what did I do? I woke up, and I get frustrated with myself sometimes because I start to think about that and I'm like, dang, I didn't do shit. If today was my last day living, God forbid, like I hope I see a long life. But yeah. But if today was my last day, what did I do with that? Right. People that don't even matter to me. I passed off all these judgments, passed off all this negative energy. I put nothing into myself. I tried to,
Right.
And that's a good way to look at it. I feel like if this was your last day, are you really happy with the person that you were today?
How does it benefit you to be judgmental and opinionated about other people's situations? Just doesn't benefit you.
Right.
It's a waste of breath. It's a waste of time.
All that energy you could be putting into yourself. You could be working on something, working on your craft, working on your mindset, the way you want to be as a human. And I feel like throwing judgments, it's kind of pointless in a sense because everyone is like made to be different. And if somebody judged me because I was being my true authentic self and I wasn't living up to a standard that they thought I should be living up to, I would be fucking pissed. And I'm sure they do. Do people tell it to me to my face? Probably not. But I'm sure there are plenty of people that judge the shit out of me because I'm living a different life that they
wish they had,
right, or that they don't understand,
right,
or instead of just talking to me and trying to get my understanding about it. I feel like that would be kind of, I would love if people came up to me and was like, why do you feel like that? Like trying to gain a better understanding of what's going on in my head,
right,
instead of just passing off a judgment and not even giving a fuck about behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying?
But that's most people, and that's sad. Because that's like probably 90%. I'll say 85 being lenient.
I'll say 85. Be nice.
85% of people, I feel like they do that. Yeah, it's rare to find people who are just in good spirits all the time. I mean, stuff happens. Shit happens. People have bad days.
Mm-hmm. And I've done it too, and that's why I get upset when I see myself doing it.
Yeah, and you're like, why do I do that? It makes you question, like, why do I even do that?
Right, that was a waste of my time. Why did I even have to have a conversation about that?
But that's a daily struggle. Just like, man, for me, it definitely is, because in my head, all types of stuff be going on. And then when I'm comfortable with people, of course, I'm going to tell you what I think, you know. Around others, I just stay quiet. But if I know you and we're real cool, I'm letting them opinions and judgmentals fly.
Right.
Judgmentals. Judgments.
Judgmentals. Look at those judgmentals flying around. Little birds. No, but like, when we talk and we're voicing our opinion about a situation, I think that's kind of like the question of today. When do we cross that line? You know what I'm saying? Like, when is it like, all right, I'm being real judgy?
I think in situations like that, you find yourself questioning why you were judgy or had a very big opinion on a certain situation and you didn't know much about it. When you find out the shit that's going on, like, you can have these judgments about a person, this and this and that. Like, let's say Dali, like, I can have all this stuff I think about her and how she is, and, you know, how the way she speaks, the way she carries herself. Then I figure out what's going on in her life, and I'm like, oh, you know, let me sit back and be put in my place, because I don't even know what the fuck is going on anyways. And it makes you take a step back and realize, like, okay, I need to stop.
Yeah.
Because I really don't know what the fuck is going on. And that's about 100% of the time. You know what I'm saying? So unless you have, like, not even if you have, I can know your whole situation, and I can give my opinion on it, and I can give you advice, but I don't have to be opinionated to the point where I'm a dick, and I don't have to be judgmental. So, you know, some people just don't have that balance.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% perfect with that either, though, because I don't have my balance sometimes.
Shit, me neither. Sometimes I'm way too opinionated.
Yeah. But it takes a lot to be aware of what you think and how you feel. Some people don't take the process to do that. It can be hard for a lot of people to do, too. But to constantly think about what you're saying, being aware of what you're doing, it's very important, especially when it comes to things like that.
I feel like it can be hard for some people too when you surround yourself around people that don't mind being judgmental either. When you have a group and you're surrounded by all these people all the time that all you do is talk shit.
Right. It gets tiring.
There's never...
At some point, you're like, okay, well, when are we going to start doing something with our lives, you know, other than talking about people?
Or some people just fall into it, and they're like, this is what life is. We just judge the shit out of everyone else.
Let's be negative together.
Yeah. And maybe they don't see it as being negative. Maybe they see that...
But you think about that, and I feel like... And you might be right. They might not see that they're being negative, but in the long run, you kind of are. You both are just being negative together and talking about people together for what? When you could, like you said, be... using that energy and time to focus on yourself and do what you need to do for yourself, and maybe things would be better. If you do that, you won't have time to go talk about people all the time. You'll be worried about your own shit. That's one thing, because when I was younger, I can say this, before I had my kid, I was very concerned about what people thought about me or what people would say about me, and I wanted to be this and this and that. But then at a certain point, it was like, well, what do you want to be? Who do you want to be as a person? You know, like, fuck what everybody else is thinking.
Right. Especially who the fuck is they? Like,
what? Right. Exactly. And then when I had my son, it was like, look, this is what you need to do. You're a mom now. Fuck whatever thoughts you had about yourself. You're a mom. And that's first and foremost. So you need to concentrate on your kid. Not that it's like, don't concentrate on yourself. But whatever anyone else has to say isn't helping you pay nothing for these kids. Even if it is, it's not positive. You know, like, I just feel like other people's opinions and judgments are not going to get you anywhere in life, and they're not paying your bills. Right. So at the end of the day, it's like, I'm not caring about what the hell you have to say.
It's not feeding me. It's not fucking me. It's not financing me.
None of the above.
I don't want none of it.
Right. For real, though.
I don't care about your opinions, about your judgments. And that's hard to do, too. The same that it is to stop judging, it's hard to stop taking people's judgments and letting it consume you and letting it...
That's the other side of it, I could say, like...
Yeah. That's hard to do. And if you don't know the steps to take that you need to take to get there, you could keep letting it consume you, and then you're a hot mess. You don't know what to do. You're so concerned about what everyone else thinks about you that you forget who you are
as a person.
Like we were
you're
saying.
because you're so worried about trying to be what everyone else wants you to be.
Right.
So you can't get lost in that. You can't lose yourself. It's not worth it. Honestly, it's not worth it. Your individuality makes you you. So
yeah,
I just think that we all need to stop being opinionated dicks and judgmental pricks.
Oh, I like that. Did you just come up?
I did.
Wow, that was good.
I did, you know?
That was really good. But yeah, I agree. And it's hard, but we're here to help. And we have each other.
We do. And you have us, so if you want to DM us, you know, with some opinions, some positive opinions, and no judgments, come let us know, you know, hit us up.
So yeah, going off of that, we're going to roll into our Adulting 101 tips. And pretty much, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory what our Adulting 101 tips are going to be today. Tips on how you could be less judgmental, stay opinionated, stay your true self, but don't
be an opinionated dick.
Yeah.
We're going to show you how not to be an opinionated dick. It's okay to have your opinion and your own voice of what you think about, you know, certain situations. But we want you to know you don't have to be a dick doing it. All right?
Yeah.
So
and us too, we don't have to be dicks doing it. We don't have to, we need to learn how to, you know, us as a family, we're all family here. Our little tribe.
We can do it together.
We're the adult tribe. We can all come together and work on these things to try to
help us.
Stay opinionated, own your opinions and own your true self, but let other people do the same thing. Let other people do them, be them.
Let there be room for that.
Yeah.
Make room for that.
Yeah.
So what ways would you say would be good to help us to stop being so judgmental?
To stop being judgmental, I feel like looking for positives instead of automatically going toward negative things is a really big one. Anytime you see yourself having a negative thought or feeling a negative thing towards somebody, try to stop yourself and retrace your mind and retrace your thoughts as to why you feel like that.
Well, a bounce back from what that you can use with that is if you look at somebody and you see something negative, go ahead and name one thing that's positive about them.
Right.
You know, switch it around. Try to turn your thought process around.
Right.
Instead of looking at her and talking about, you know, her dirty shoes or something, let me look and talk about how I really like her bracelet or I really like her hair. You know, or something.
I read something too, like when you want to have good thoughts about yourself, it's good to do that about other people because like if you walk into, it said something like if you walk into a coffee shop and you're like, dang, the barista's hair looks really nice today, or dang, her shoes look really nice today, then you start seeing good in other people and then you start believing good about yourself.
I think you also get the confidence to start telling people your own opinion, but your positive opinions.
Right.
So if the barista's hair looks nice, you're gonna be like, "Oh, girl, you rocking that hair today."
Right.
You know,
right.
Or you look fabulous today.
Right.
You just
empower other people around you, and then that's empowerment. I think within
with that,
itself.
Yeah, it is empowerment. I think that you go, you know, beyond just not being opinionated or judgmental. You start to want to uplift people. You know, you want to make them feel good too, and it works. You know,
it really does. And using social media is the perfect tool to do that. Instead of bringing people down, look at these other things and be like, wow, she's really doing her thing. He's really killing it today. Dang, this is awesome. Like, damn.
Kudos to them.
Damn, this family made this meal. Good for them. Fuck yeah. You know, it's start doing those little things and training your mind to see good. Because it's so easy to see bad.
It's always there.
Monitoring your thoughts and really remember how it feels to have judgments put on you and how shitty that feels and how you don't want to feel that shit and you get pissed. I get pissed when people put judgments on me and they don't even know what's going on. Or even if they do know what's going on and they still put judgments on me, like, who are you to say? So it's good to, like, step back, remember, put yourself in that person's position, put yourself in that person's shoes. I'm sure, people didn't, like, I've dyed my hair like purple like 3 times. And I didn't dye my hair purple so people could be like, what the fuck is that girl doing? You know, I dyed it, you know,
or because other people thought it was cute.
Right.
Like
I did it because that's what I wanted to do. Like, remember, do whatever you want to do and expect Like,
nothing in return.
Yeah.
Do what you want to do for yourself.
And let people do whatever the hell they want to do.
With no expectations.
Just let them do it. Like, it's fine. Life is gonna go on. We will all be okay.
Mm-hmm. That's a fact of it.
So any tips on being less opinionated? I guess you did that right.
I would say to stop being opinionated as you know, selfishly opinionated, and in a negative way. I feel like you can't pass judgment, which we just talked about. Mm-hmm. You can't look at someone and not know their story and talk about them. You don't know what they're going through. Mm-hmm. You don't know what they've been through. Being understanding is a big part of it too, because if you understand, then you wouldn't talk so much shit, you know?
Understanding, I feel like too, is like the first step.
For sure.
And applaud yourself.
For understanding.
Right.
Being
when
understanding.
you can stand back and take the time to understand somebody else's point of view and somebody else's mindset, applaud yourself for that. That's a big step.
That's like your willingness to have an open mind as to what's going on. Mm-hmm. You can ask questions when you're opinionated, you know, but also listen to others, you know. Ground your thoughts in facts, and that's why it's good to be understanding and to know a story ahead of time before you have an opinion on it. Mm-hmm. And also, you know, speak first, but also speak last. So you have time to hear others' opinions or others' thoughts, your facts, or whatever the case is. So you're more understanding of the whole thing. You can speak first about your opinion, but hear others out. Mm-hmm. And listen to what they have to say, and then speak again. And maybe your process or your mind thoughts on a certain situation will be different than what you thought it was completely. Mm-hmm. I know there's been a lot of times where I was put in my place with things like that.
Yeah, with facts get thrown in your face, and you're like, oh shit.
Oh damn, I feel kind of bad. Yeah, right. That's how exactly it is.
Yeah.
Like you're just like, man, I had all these, you know, they're not doing this, they're not doing that, blah 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 blah. These people have everything going on for them, you know, or everything worse going on for them, or anything bad, you know. So you just never know.
And it was like how we were saying in like the Adulting versus Us episode, our very first episode that we released. How we were saying everyone is at their own pace in life. So when you see that somebody is at a different pace than you, or it seems like in your perspective, somebody's like far behind in life, I guess, remember they're not on the same pace that I'm at. Exactly. Maybe like you have to have an understanding that they're at the pace they need to be. And you're at the pace that you need to be, like, just...
Life is not your life.
Right.
If anything, all you can do is do more things to find ways to uplift them. Mm-hmm. To find ways to...
Or just be there for them, or if they don't want you to be there for them, just go away and just shut up.
And deal with your own life.
Right. Stop being... What was the saying? You made
Stop being a judgmental prick and an opinionated prick. No.
Dick. Which one was first?
Stop being a judgmental dick and an opinionated prick.
Preach.
That's definitely going to be our quote for this.
Right. Well, with that being said, we're going to wrap it up because it's getting to the time where you guys are probably like about to check out on us. So we will be back next week.
We enjoyed talking to you guys. Tune in for the next episode. Thanks
and
for the support.
Hashtag TASKAWAY if you see yourself doing the task, using the task of the week.
Yes.